Okay.
Good? Good? Okay, so this is the second shiur on Hilchot Tzitzit. So we said that Tzitzit is part of the uniform of a Jew. If a servant of God has a Tzitzit, and at the Talit, and eventually, when after Mea V'Esrim, a person is buried in his Talit. Now we said I mentioned this concept of
So in his talit or a talit?
a Talit. No, a Talit. Doesn't have to be a person, specific personal Talit, but a person is always Jewish person is buried in it with a Talit. So one of the concepts is when you wrap yourself in a Talit in the morning, it's a concept when you're reminding yourself, this is Yom HaMitah. Yom HaMitah is one of the reminders which saves a person from chet. When you're living your whole life, you know, I'm here on a journey. I want to make the best that I am. You know, I'm a servant of God. I'm putting on this uniform. When you're wrapping your talit, it's a different set of mind frame. Your day is going to be completely different. So every day, you're me'aher b'tshuva, and the tzitzit is about to save a person from chet. That is the talit gadol. It's a different mindset, concept in observation to start off your day with your tefillah. So last week we said a few halachot. What happened when you take off your talit to go to the bathroom and you come back? You make a bracha again? Or you don't make a bracha again?
You don't make.
You don't make. So we said you don't make a bracha when you take it off. But if it falls off,
If it's not bechavana, so you don't need to do. If you keep in mind like it's not bechavana.
so let's get this very clear. Let's not get mixed up. If you take it off, then you put it back on without bracha. But if it falls off, then you make a bracha. If it completely falls off, not if a half falls off. If it totally falls off by itself, you put it back on. Because it's called hesech hadat. Hesech hadat is you don't have in mind. If you take it off, you have in mind to put it back on. But if it falls off, you don't have your mind that it falls off. No one has a mind that you put it for it to fall off. That is when
in all circumstances. In like even in the morning, like at home or and in synagogue.
So wherever you are, if you're home or in synagogue, if you take it off for a short break, then you put it back on without a bracha. If it's a long break, according to Rabbi Vaida, more than half an hour, then you make a bracha again. But they also talit katan. If you go to swimming or you go to a long break, beach, something, then after you come back, put it back on, then you make a bracha again for tzitzit. What about tefillin? If you take off tefillin and you go to the bathroom, you come back. Short break. Just 2 minutes, just short for the toilet, you come back, you put in a tefillin.
No bracha.
No. So the tzitzit, talit, is no bracha, but for tefillin, you do make a bracha. That's the difference. So again, there's two differences. One difference is the talit, if you take it off, you don't make a bracha. If it falls off, then you do make a bracha, because hesech hadat. And the tefillin is even if you take off the tefillin to go for the bathroom, even if it's for 1 minute, you put on, you come back, you put on, you make a bracha.
Why?
Why? Because by the tefillin is a you need always a what's it called? Not to be masech dat from a tefillin. Even a short masech dat from a tefillin, it requires you to put on a to make a bracha again. That's why nowadays, you know, we don't put on tefillin the whole day. Sometimes in the olden days, the big righteous people used to wear tefillin the whole time because they didn't used to take off the mind off the tefillin.
Yeah.
But nowadays we're not capable of doing that. Even rabbis can't always think about tefillin all the time. So only during the tefillah we put on tefillin. Okay.
Can I say something on that note? On tefillin?
Yeah, please. Let's have a question. Yeah.
It's not worth a statement. I remember reading that between the time you put the tefillin on the arm to the head, we're not meant to say anything.
Yeah, not allowed to speak. Yeah.
We're not even meant to go, or like if someone's talking to you.
No, you don't even answer. No, you don't even answer amen. In between tefillin and shel yad shel rosh, you don't even answer amen. You need to put on tefillin shel yad and put on tefillin shel rosh. Okay. What happens if you take off your talit and you put on another talit? That means you come into synagogue, you put on a talit, you make a bracha. Yeah? Then comes along somebody and says, hey, you're wearing my talit. And you say, oh, I'm terribly sorry. You take it off, you give it to him. Where's mine? Oh, this one is yours. Now what do you do? You already made the bracha, and this is a different talit. Now what do? You make another bracha or no?
I guess so, yes.
I think you do.
You do. Why? You do make another bracha.
Because you
when
blessed the talit. You blessed the talit, the previous one.
You blessed the previous talit, and you didn't have in mind that this was wrong talit. So that's called a sechadat. So of course you make a second bracha on the other talit. Now, what garments do you need to make? What is there a chiyuv of tzitzit? When is there not a chiyuv of tzitzit? So, according to the halacha, does anyone know what the talit is made of?
I know that the blue thing is from the ocean. Sometimes it's the blue.
Yeah, not the threads. I'm talking about the garment itself. The cloth.
There are different. No, there are different.
There are different ones, but not the tzitzit. Talit gadol.
Wool?
Wool, excellent. Who said wool? Joe.
Yeah.
All of the talit gadol is made of wool, because wool is the only material, according to all the commentaries, that you can make a bracha of tzitzit. Talit katan, that's what we make a bracha on. Talit katan, some of them are made of wool, some are made of cotton. Now, cotton, you should know, is a machloket, if you can make bechlal a bracha on the tzitzit katan of cotton. The only garment which you can make according to everybody is a woolen tzitzit katan. Okay, that's why I wear talit katan of the wool. It's a big mitzvah to be ma'ader from wool. Even if you don't, it's fine, because we don't actually make a bracha on talit katan. We always make a bracha on the talit gadol, and we are poter the talit katan. But if you have opportunity to wear a woolen tzitzit, that would be the best thing to do. What happens if you have a garment which is made of four corners? You're not allowed to wear it, and you have to put on tzitzit. But there's a few exceptions. What happens if you have a leather garment, leather jacket? It's got corners on it. 2 corners at the bottom, 2 corners at the top. Nice, very stylish Gucci leather jacket. Does it have to be put on tzitzit? Arba knafot? No. The answer is no. Why? Any leather garment is patur, because leather is not called a beged. Beged is a cloth, something which is woven and is created in like a garment of cloth. Anything which is leather is not considered a beged. Also, anything which is synthetic, nylon, polyester, is not mechuyav in tzitzit at all. Right? So now, when you're coming into a scarf, what happens if you have a scarf?
In wool, so an equivalent of a leather jacket in wool would require.
So very good. Would require tzitzit, yes or no? So the prior question is depends. So I'm coming on to that. What happens if you have a scarf? Does a scarf need tzitzit? 4-cornered scarf.
The size is too small. It's not
too small, because it doesn't cover you up. How big does it need to be, the tzitzit? Needs to be 1 amma by 1 amma, which is like 48 centimeters wide and across the front and the back. That's the minimum requirement for bracha. So what about a blanket, a woolen blanket, or a woolen or any blanket?
You don't wear a blanket.
It's got 4 corners. So very good. You don't wear a blanket. It's not a levush, and it's not a beged. You're absolutely right.
No,
even if you wear it?
You don't wear it, but it's not derech.
Today I want to wear it.
Yeah.
But it's not wearable thing.
No. So it's very good. You make a good point.
I want to wear it, but it's not wearable.
Yeah. So Ben Ish Chai says of it that smicha is called the ktsut laila, the blanket, and you don't wear it derech levisha, and the minhag is not to have it. If you want to wear it, then it depends, because you're making it into a garment. For example, in Mexico, they have something which is called a poncho. You know what a poncho is? Like a shawl, yeah? It's like a blanket with a hole in the middle for your head. And it's got 4 corners on it. You know, once I saw on Purim, dressed up as Mexicans, and there's a 4-corner garment, you need tzitzit on that. So Ben Shchai said, if you want to be machmir, only if it's made of wool. If it's not made of wool, then it's already beged laila, and it's also not really a beged. and it's not really mechuyev in tzitzit.
Don't they say
If
that?
it's made of wool, then you should round off one of the corners if you want to wear it as a blanket. But only if it's cornered. If it's a rounded corner, then it's not chayav in tzitzit.
Don't they say that in the times of the Tanakh, everyone would wear talit gadol all the time as well?
Yes. Yes.
So they probably all had ponchos back then.
Nachon. What about a woman? Does women have a mitzvah of tzitzit?
No.
No.
No, women don't wear tzitzit. What happens if a
Just
woman
grama.
נכון, מצוות עשה של זמן גמרא, נשים is פטורים from mitzvah. Now what happens if they want to wear a talit? She's feeling very religious and she wants to put on a talit.
It's like any other mitzvah, well, sukkah or whatever, I don't know.
No, very good. So it's different. Ben Ish Chai says it's different to sukkah. In sukkah and shofar or lulav, if they want to do it, we let them do it. But mitzvah of tzitzit is different, and Ben Ish Chai said you shouldn't let women to wear talit. There's a few different reasons. One of the reasons is mechzik yahora, which is it's like arrogance. The other one he says is a pasuk which says lo tilvash isha kli gever. A woman is not meant to wear man's clothes. It's a man's clothes because it's beged, which is zman grama, so it's a man's mitzvah. It's not for a woman to wear a man's mitzvah. It's like wearing a man's clothes. She's not meant to wear men's trousers or men's clothing. It's not for women. They're lo tilvash isha kli gever. And we need to stop. He said we shouldn't let them to wear the tzitzit. And also he says according to the Sefer Kavanot, al pi sod, there's a tikkun for a man where he wears a tzitzit. And it says that there's nothing, it's not relevant to a woman for having it. Okay, last halacha, what about children? The children have mitzvah of tzitzit?
Yes.
Yes.
From 3.
From 3. What age? Yaakov says 3.
That's when the chinuch begins.
So chinuch starts according to some opinions at the age of 9. Gil chinuch, and if he's a pikeach at the age of 6. Or 7. That's the age of tzitzit. However, what happens if you want to start at the age of 3? You do a Halacha, you carve his thing, you give him a kippah at the age of 3. You want to give him a tzitzit. So it depends. Most 3-year-olds, no, because they're not trained. They're still in nappies. When they're still in nappies, you can't let them wear a tzitzit and walk around in a dirty nappy. So only after they're trained and they start wearing nappies and they don't need it anymore, that's when you can start giving them tzitzit. You teach them how to make a bracha, to kiss a tzitzit, and that's lechanech oto b'mitzvot. And I think we're going to stop it for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the shiur. Next week, Bezrat Hashem, we'll finish off Chod Tzitzit. We'll do the end of Chod Tzitzit. And we'll Bezrat Hashem talk about Sarah and Akadet Yitzchak.
Just one last thing.
Please.
We are, Rachel and I, we're grandparents.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
Who was born?
Rabbi Yaakov, Mazel Tov.
Tada, thank you.
Yaakov, what?
Aaron, that little girl.
Mazel
When
Tov.
Yaakov?
The second one, eh?
The second one, yeah.
Second girl.
Second girl.
וואו, ברכה, בלי ענווה. אחרי גירי אלוקים תינתן.
Thank
בשם
you.
הרבה נחת. To all
Tada.
the family, מזל טוב תראו משפחת גבאי. Thank you for sharing us the
My
good news.
sister had a girl as well yesterday.
מזל טוב.
Baruch Hashem.
Which sister?
Amanda.
Mazal tov.
Mazal tov.
Hey, Mazal tov, Uncle Joe.
טוב השמחות, טוב הזרון. Uncle Joe, ברוך השם יוסף. So all smachot for everybody.
Amen.
So thank you for sharing us. מזל טוב to everyone. Hope you enjoyed the shiur.
Thank you.
שיהיה לילה טוב.
לילה טוב.
שלום.
Shabbat shalom.
לילה טוב
רק וברוך.
רבנו. לילה טוב רבי.
Thank you very much.
נתנאל.
זה אהוד.
כן, כן, כן.
didn't see you. איפה היית?
אני פה.